Welcome back. We are looking at part 3 of our Excel project, and this is going to be, I think, pretty easy part for us. We're going to add minimum and maximum onto here, and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to come down to my giant T-chart down here, and I think what I will do is I'm going to just go to E100, and I'm just going to type in, actually I'm going to put this up a little bit. I'm just going to go to E96, it's all scratch work down here, and I'm just going to go for my minimum right here. And to do that, I'm going to put equals minimum of, and I want the smallest Y value in my, as you know, 1,000 entries from B101 down through B1100. And that gives me -9. Smallest value I get, that's probably right at the end. Well, nope, it's actually in the middle somewhere here. Let's just for the heck of it, let's see if we can peruse that and find it. Was it -9? Yeah. So I'm looking, there's a -5. I'm trying. We get down in here, we're close to -9. And that might just be saying -9 because it's rounding it. But anyway, we have a smallest value of -9. Let's go for the max. And I'm just going to steal from myself here because the formula is almost exactly the same. Control C, Control V, and I'm going to ask for my maximum in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Vlookup again. I'm going to look for that -9 in here and get the X value over here that's associated with it. So I'm going to go equals Vlookup. I'm going to look up this value in this chart down through 1100. And I'm going to return what column? First column, second column, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. And all this other space, I know I got some extraneous space here, but I'm looking for the 10th column. Perhaps we'll be using that. Depends on how far along we get, how many features we're going to have. So I'm looking up that, and I really truthfully want to put in false, and you can ask if you have a question what that's about. So the X coordinate that goes with this Y coordinate is -0.006. I'm going to just look for that one again. Where is that guy for that X coordinate? -0.006 goes with, this must be where it's picking up that -9, like right around in here. -0.006. Oh, here it is. Here's where it found that first one, right in here. Okay, so we're getting that. We're picking up this value, and I'm going to type this in and make this, once again, we're going to do something very similar here. Bear with me. I'm really looking up for where my maximum value is. And now I'm going to concatenate this down here together. This is kind of a cool use of Excel as well. There's so many great things to be learned in this project. I hope you get it. And let's take a look. I'm going to go equals, and I'm just going to say our minimum is parenthesis. I'm done with text now, so now I'm going to concatenate again. I'm going to chunk in my X value, and I'm going to concatenate in a comma and a space, and I'm going to concatenate in my Y value, and I'm going to concatenate in my close parentheses. And I have this, which is probably need a little more space to see what all is going on there, is all of this. And you can see right here, here's a great time to use our round feature. So I'm going to come up and remind myself round to 3 decimals currently is in C18. I'm going to come back down, take a look at this big nasty formula, and I'm going to go round this value to C18, and I'm going to take this, which is a number, and round it to C18. And let's see what we have now. That looks a little bit better. So I'm going to just grab this on the edge, and I'm just going to drag this whole single cell up here. I could have just as easily taken care of this first 0 and this value, chunk those together down below. Maybe we'll go back and do that at some time. Maybe you're going to want to. Okay, likewise, I'm going to do the same thing with my max, and my max is a similar formula. So perhaps I want to copy this guy. Let's see if we can make the changes. I think I'm going to go down below and make them. It just makes the job a little bit easier to see what we're dealing with. I'm just going to put it in here. And what do I want to change? I now want this to be a max. And I want, instead of E98, this cell, I want, there's my X value. Instead of E97, the purple one, there's my value. We already have those rounded. And perhaps I'll bring that up here. So we're getting a lot of information from there about our graph. I think I'm going to go back and clean this first 0 up. I mean, it's not bad, and we can add around, but I'm going to go back and clean that up so I can put it in the same format. I kind of like the way that's looking. So I'm going to go back here. Where's that first 0? Here's my first 0 right here. I'm going to go equals first, I'll do it this way, first 0, space, space, close quotations, concatenate, round this value to the C18, which is currently 3. See how that looks. I'll bet that gives us a better look up here. I'm just going to put that right over the top. It gives me a warning, but yeah, I want to replace it. I don't need this anymore. And then it's just up to you to decide where you'd like to pull those around to. Those could go to a lot of different positions. You could merge cells and put it in there. I think I'm going to put my max. I'm going to just drag this around a couple spaces. All of these things can be negotiable and moved around. First 0 maybe in here. Anyway, we've got all our data that we need. This round feature, we haven't talked too much about it, but take a look. If I change this to 5, there we go. We've got rounding to 5. So now I start seeing maybe this is going to invade. So maybe it makes sense to put the minimum to the left. I don't know. Put this guy over here. You can play around with that as much as you'd like. Rearrange these, kind of the fun part. I always kind of look at Excel as it really uses both sides of your brain very nicely. You've got a sequence in Excel where you're just going through trying to make things work, and then you get an opportunity to try to make things pretty. For instance, maybe I want to have this bordered, and the user's not going to enter anything here, so maybe I'm going to kind of use this for a code. I don't know, maybe I'll go with the light blue. The user's not going to enter anything here. I'll border those. But the user will enter here, so I'll keep that white. The user's not going to enter here, and if you might remember, these are formulas. But the user will enter our X value, say -2, and we get a different chart. But really, we don't want the user messing with that, so I'm just kind of signifying that with the blue. Lots of things you can do here with right-click, making things look a little prettier. How about chart title? I'm just going to delete that. And I'm going to take this guy, maybe make it a little bigger font. It stands out. And maybe, I better right-click, bring to front. And I can just kind of use that as my chart title. All sorts of options for you to play around with. Again, I think I'd probably look to clean this up somewhat. Might even want to do this with the equation of tangent line, make that just be a one-line option. Check this out. Control C. All of these things are optional. I'm just doing, this is just the beautifying thing. I might even do something like this. Let's try this. I just copied that. What if I come up here and go equals quotes, colon space space, and concatenate. I'm going to control V here. I don't think I want that extra, that's an extraneous equal to sign. And now I've got this. Who knows where I want to put that? Put in a different X value, 0.4. And once again, we talked about that minus negative jumping in. Can happen. That can happen the way we have it done. There are workarounds for that with if-then statements, but again, I will perhaps leave that up to you. If somebody's got a lot of time, I can certainly work through that with somebody so we can recognize that, hey, we're really subtracting a negative. Let's just take the negative off and let's turn that into a plus sign. So lots of things we can do from here, but we're getting to the point where we have a lot of information. I can go ahead and sketch a graph. I can find zeros on it. I can find a minimum. I can find a maximum. I've got an equation of a tangent line. What's left for our next video is we're going to find the area underneath the curve, and that's a big second semester calculus concept. So stay tuned. Part 4 coming very shortly.